Welcome back to ICSE MathGuru, and today I am back with one more video, and today's video is on quadratic equations. Children, before we get further into this lesson, let me tell you that quadratic equation is a very important lesson. Its weightage in your board exam as well as its application. And if you are going to take up MPC in +1, +2, your state board exam, this would be one of the lessons there as well. So pretty important to learn everything in and about this lesson, quadratic equation. Now coming to the weightage, its weightage is pretty high, children. You can expect around 7 to 10 marks from this lesson, that is between 7 to 10 marks. Lucky enough if you get 10 marks, but between 7 to 10 marks. Sometimes you get 3 questions, sometimes you get 2 questions, but minimum 2 questions for sure from this lesson. One question from that is problems on quadratic equation, which is for sure every year in the board paper. So if I had to rate this lesson, I would give it a 5-star rating. So it's important for y'all to learn this lesson thoroughly to get all the marks from this lesson. And let's get started with today's video. And as I always tell you, do watch the video till the end to understand the lesson completely. It will have 2 solutions, and these are called the roots of the quadratic equation. They are called the roots of the quadratic equation. So children, what did we learn now? What is a quadratic equation? What is the general form? Why should a not be 0? Now say suppose your quadratic equation was px square plus qx plus r is equal to 0. Here we can say p, q and r, these are real numbers, and for this particular equation p should not be equal to 0. So you can expect such basic questions now, because you have objective multiple choice questions. You should know a little bit of theory part as well. Okay. So this is about the introduction to quadratic equation. Now there are 2 ways for solving the quadratic equation. One is the method of factorization and the other is using the formula method. Both we will discuss in today's class. Okay. So let's see how we solve any quadratic equation. There are 2 methods of solving the quadratic equation. One is the factorization method and the other is using the formula. So this will be the factorization method. This is the first method. In this method, you will factorize splitting the middle term. And children, we know that all trinomials are not factorizable. So where it is not factorizable, we use the formula method. In your exam, a particular method will be specified and you have to adopt only that method. Otherwise, you will not get your marks. Okay. So this question is 3x square minus 8x minus 80. So the product is minus 80 into 3. You all have learned factorization in standard 8. So minus 240. Now what are the factors of 240 whose difference is 10? Why difference is 10? Let me give a quick recap, children. If product is positive, we need to add factors. Okay, we need to add the factors and both the factors will get the sign of the middle term. If product is negative, I'll erase this again. If product is negative, difference of factors have to be taken. Difference of factors and greater factor gets the sign of middle term. Sign of middle term. Okay. So if the product is positive, both the factors you should add and both the factors will get the sign of the middle term. And if the product is negative, you have to take the difference of the factors and the greater factor will get the sign of the middle term. Now here what is our product? Minus 240. What are the factors of minus 240? Come on. What are the factors of minus 240? Can anyone tell? Take a pen and paper and find the factors, because finding factors is very, very important. Minus 240. Can we say it as 20 and 12? Why it is 20 and 12? 12 twos are 24, so 20 into 12 becomes 240. And which among the two is greater? 20 is greater, so this will get the negative sign. This is your rough work, children. So you're splitting your middle term as minus 20x and 12x. This also you need not show, I am just showing you what is factorization. So all that you have to start doing is that 3x square minus 20x plus 12x minus 80 is equal to 0. Now in these two we cannot take anything common, so we'll just take x common. 3x minus 20. Between 12 and 80 we can take 4 common, so 3x minus 20. Remember, children, these two expressions will be the same. So 3x minus 20 into x plus 4 is equal to 0. 3x minus 20 into x plus 4 is equal to 0. Let me go up a little. Yeah. So now when the product of two or more terms is equal to 0, each of them is equal to 0. That is called as the zero product rule. I mentioned this earlier also in recurring deposit, I guess. Zero product rule. According to zero product rule, 3x minus 20 is equal to 0, x plus 4 is equal to 0, x is 20 by 3 or x is 4. X is minus 4. So what is the solution set? The solution set for quadratic equation, please write it in a curly bracket, minus 4 comma 20 by 3. How do you write 20 by 3 as? 6 2 by 3. It's enough if you write an improper fraction as a mixed fraction. So this is your final answer for this. Or you can also leave it as 20 by 3, but I suggest always leave it as an mixed fraction if it is an improper fraction. Proper fraction, no worries at all. So let's see the solution. So yes, this is the solution. 20 by 3 comma minus 4. Product factors, zero product rule. I did mention why, what is needed. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. So here in this it is given, solve 2 into x plus 2 whole square minus 5 into x plus 2 is equal to 12. Now how do you solve this? Okay, there are two ways of solving. Let us choose an easy way. Children, understand, smart study is important. Okay, along with your work that you give, apply it smartly. So let x plus 2 is equal to some other variable. You want, you can take it as y, you can take it as a. So let's take it as y for now. So what do we have here now? 2y square minus 5y is equal to 12. Now if I transpose the 12 to this side, remember a quadratic equation is always equated to a 0. You have 2y square minus 5y minus 12 is equal to 0. Now is this equation not looking so very simple? Now what is the product? Product is minus 24. What are the factors of 24 which give the middle term whose difference is 5? What are the factors? 8 and 3. Okay. So the factors are 8 and 3. Which will get which sign? 8 will get a negative sign and 3 will get a positive sign. Why so? Because the greater factor gets the sign of the middle term. So now your equation is split up as 2y square minus 8y plus 3y minus 12 is equal to 0. So if you take out 2y common here, it is y minus 4. If you take out 3 common, it is y minus 4. Remember, again I am telling, these two expressions should be the same. It doesn't mean that you manipulate, take out the correct signs. Okay. So y minus 4 into 2y plus 3 is equal to 0. So y is equal to 4 or y is equal to minus 3 by 2. Is our sum complete? Most of the children apply this, but they think the sum is complete. The sum is to solve for x, but we got the value of y. How do we get the value of x then? We assumed x plus 2 is equal to y. So we need to substitute back in this to get the value of x. So let's substitute. I'll erase off this portion. Okay. Okay. So let us make this minus 12 and equal to 0, so that this comes down like this. Now x plus 2 is equal to y. So x plus 2 is equal to 4. X is equal to 2. And if x plus 2 is minus 3 by 2, I'll do this here. So x plus 2 is minus 3 by 2, implies x is equal to minus 3 by 2 minus 3. Minus 3 by 2 minus 3 becomes how much, children? How much? 6 minus 3, minus 6 minus 3 is minus 9 by 2. So the solution set is 2 comma minus 4 1 by 2. This is the solution set for this particular quadratic equation. Let's see the solution. So, okay, I made a mistake, I guess, there. Let me go back and show you all what mistake I made. I said x from plus 2, when we went there, it became minus 3. I'm sorry for that. I'll change it now. So this is, oh, I picked up the highlighter. So this is, so this is minus 2. So this becomes minus 7 by 2. Okay. So see what silly mistake we, just by transposing 2 to the other side, I changed it to 3. I can say here sorry and redo and undo, but in the exam you have to be extra careful. Okay. So that's the solution set. Now coming to the next method, which is the formula method. Okay. Children, a mathematician called Sridharacharya formulated this. Okay. For the quadratic equation, he formulated this formula as minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. So if you have any quadratic equation as ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, you can get the roots of the equation using the formula x is equal to, very very important children, x is equal to minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. Whether a particular equation is factorizable or not factorizable, you can apply this formula and still get the roots of the quadratic equation. The key deciding factor is b square minus 4ac, and this is called the discriminant. It is called the discriminant, which is denoted as d or delta, but most commonly it is denoted as d. So this d is equal to b square minus 4ac. More about discriminant you will know shortly when we do nature of roots. So what is the formula of a quadratic equation? It is minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. So let's do few sums using the formula method as well. So here it is given, solve this equation and give your answer correct to 2 places of decimal. Solve and give your answer correct to 2 places of decimal. Since it's the first sum, let's write the values of a, b and c. A is 1, b is minus 5, c is equal to minus 8. What's the formula? X is equal to minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. So x is equal to minus b, minus of minus 5 becomes 5, plus or minus root over b square, which is 25 minus 4ac, minus 4 into 1 into minus 8 becomes plus 32 by 2a, which is 2. So x is equal to 5 plus or minus root 57 by 2. Now children, root 57 you need not go by long division method that you have learnt in standard 7. In your exam you will be given a book called as the logarithmic table book, the Clark's logarithmic table book. Using that you can easily get to know the values of finding the roots, square roots of any given number. So if you want how to find this, give comment in the comment section. I will make one more video on how to find the square roots using the logarithmic table book. So root 57 value is, one second, yeah, root 57 value using the logarithmic table book is 7.550. 7.550. So x is equal to 5 plus 7.550 by 2, which is 12.550 by 2, and x is equal to 5 minus 7.55 by 2, which is minus 2.55. So 12.55 by 2, x becomes 6.275 and x is minus 1.275. And what is asked to find? Give your answer to 2 decimal places. Now how do you round off, children? How do you round off? What is the second decimal place here? 7 is the second decimal place. What is the value of the digit right to 7? It is 5. If this is 5 or more than 5, this digit which is underlined that we have to round off increases by 1. So x becomes 6.28, and here also the same, minus 1.275, this is the second decimal place, and 5, so it becomes minus 1.28. This minus, it must be getting printed somewhere. Okay, so please remember how to round off. Okay, rounding off, you know, even your marks sometimes get rounded off to the whole number. So this is how we round off. Now if it was 6.274, the answer is 6.27. Okay, please remember the digit that is rounded off, you have to see the digit right to it, immediate right to it. If it is 5 or more than 5, the digit that has to be rounded increases by 1. And if it is less than 5, it remains the same. Very, very important to know this. So let's see the solution. So one second. So this is the solution. X is equal to minus b, the formula, and then applying root value, and the solution set is minus 1.28 or 6.28. Okay, so let's do one more sum. Solve and give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Solve and give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. What are these significant figures, children? What are these significant figures? Can anyone know? Does anyone know what are significant figures? No. Honestly, most of you must not be knowing unless and until you have learned this lesson earlier. So children, significant figures basically are a part of physics. Let me change the color. Okay, it's basically from physics, children. Remember, I will tell the rules of the significant digits before we solve the sum. All non-zero digits are significant. Okay, all non-zero digits are significant. The problem comes with 0. Okay, so let's learn the rule. If 0 is bounded by two non-zero digits, if 0 is bounded by two non-zero digits, then the 0 becomes, on both sides I mean to say, the 0 becomes significant. So in this case 101 has 3 significant digits. 101 has 3 significant digits. If the 0 is the last value of any number, that is, the succeeding zeros of a whole number are not significant. So if it is even 11,000 or 11 lakhs, the number of significant digits is only 2. The number of significant digits is only 2. Coming to decimal numbers, if you have 0.604, this 0 is bounded by two non-zero digits, so therefore they become significant. It has 3 significant digits. It has 3 significant digits. Now if it was 10.604, the number of significant digits are 5. Children, if it was 10.6040, remember, the 0 after a decimal number is significant. It is significant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The number of significant digits are 6. Please remember these rules. It's important when you round off to significant figures. So let's solve this sum now. I'm erasing all this. So the question is x square minus 4x minus 8 is equal to 0. The value of a is 1. The value of b is minus 4. And the value of c is minus 8. So what's the formula? What's the formula, children? As I erase, you all can memorize the formula. The formula is x is equal to minus b plus or minus root over, I'll write it above this, I have little space. So minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. So using that, a is 1, b is minus 4, c is minus 8, x is minus b, which becomes 4 plus or minus root over b square, 4 square, 16 minus 4ac minus 4 into 1 into minus 8 becomes plus 32 by 2, which is x, why to write x again, which is equal to 4 plus or minus root 48 by 2. 4 plus or minus root 48 by 2. Root 48, children, you want, you can write it as 4 root 3 because 48 is 16 into 3. You know the root value of 3 as root 3 as 1.732, or if you have the log book, so simple to find root 48. Root 48 value is, I'll change the color and write. Okay. Root 48 is 6.928. I have already looked into the logarithmic table book and I am writing the values. So again I am telling, if you want to know how to find the square roots, comment in the comment section. I will make a video on this. Okay. So let's complete this sum now. So x is equal to 4 plus or minus 6.928 by 2, which means x is 4 plus 6 is 10.928 by 2, which is equal to 5.464, and x is 4 minus 6.928 by 2, which makes it minus 2.928 by 2, which is minus 1.464. The highlighter is selected. Minus 1.464. It's taking so long to erase. Okay. So minus 1.464. Now give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. 3 significant figures. Children, most of the children make a mistake when they do the significant figures. Okay, let me go back to this. The 3 significant figures are, you have to count right before the decimal also. Is 5 non-zero? It is non-zero, therefore it is significant. So 5, 4, 6, these 3 are the first 3 significant figures. These 5, 4, 6, these are the first 3 significant figures. So when they say 3 significant figures, count right from the beginning of the number, how many significant figures you have to count. Then immediate right, see the digit which it is. So here we have 4. Is 4 greater than or less than 5 or equal to 5 is what you have to decide. The same rule of approximation, if it is greater than or equal to 5, the last significant digit that is there in the order of 1, 2, 3 will increase by 1. Otherwise, it will remain the same. So, since it is less than 5 here, your answer is 5.46 here. And here what will be the answer? It will be minus 1.46. Some of the children, they get confused with approximation. They count only after the decimal place. Correct to decimal places, correcting to significant figures is very different, children. Significant figures you have to count even before the decimal place. If there are any significant figures, you have to keep that in mind. I hope this is clear. So the solution is minus 1.46 comma 5.46. So let's see the solution. So this is the solution. Root 48 is 9.28 and the solution is 5.46 and minus 1.46. Hope this is clear. Now we will learn about nature of roots. Okay, as I told earlier, discriminant is the key factor to tell what kind of roots they are. So sometimes even without solving, we can tell the nature of the roots, not the value of the roots. There is a difference between nature and value. Nature is to just tell what kind of roots they are. In solving, you will get the value of those roots. So now we will learn about nature of roots. So let's discuss about this nature of roots. Now the first one is the expression b square minus 4ac, as I told you, is the key deciding factor, which is called the discriminant, which is called as the discriminant. Okay, it is denoted by capital D or delta, as we have learned earlier, as I have mentioned earlier, and this decides what is the nature of the roots. So let me write the formula for you all once. What is x? X is equal to minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. Now, the first point is, if d is equal to 0, that is, if this under root value is 0, what will be left, children? You will be left with only minus b by 2a. So the roots are real and equal. Both roots will be minus b by 2a. So we can say the roots are real and equal. Now, what if d is greater than 0? What if d is greater than 0? That means this root value will be greater than 0. Greater than 0, let me tell you all with examples. You will understand better. I'll erase this under the root. Okay, we need the root also. Let me just, it's taking time to get erased. Okay, finally it got erased. So now what is this? Did the pen get selected? Now finally, what is this value that we have to write? Now we'll take a couple of examples. Say first greater than 0, I take it as 10. Okay. Now, can we find the value of root 10? Yes, we can find. While we were solving problems using formula method, we found the value of 57, we found the value of 48. Just two examples we did. just to tell that we did find the value of a root number. So the values exist. That is why they say the roots are real and unequal. Why unequal? Plus or minus. When you add, you get one value. When you subtract, you get one value. That is the reason you get the roots are real and unequal. Now coming to the subcategories of it. If this is a perfect square. So I wrote here root 10. Okay. Root 10 value, what will be root 10 value? It will be some 3 point something. Okay. Approximately I am telling. Now, which means that it is not a rational number. It is irrational because you cannot write it of the form a by b or p by q. You can't call it a rational number. It will be an irrational number. Now, if it was 100, what is the square root of 100? You all know it is 10. Now, listen to this statement carefully. If b square minus ac is a perfect square, if it is a perfect square, the roots are rational and unequal. The roots are rational and unequal. Rational and unequal. Now, perfect square is root 100. If b square minus 4ac is not a perfect square, that is root 10 or root 5 or root 6, then the roots are irrational. Okay, the roots are irrational and unequal. Is this clear? The roots are irrational and unequal. Now, what about this last one? If b square minus 4ac is less than 0, what does this less than 0 mean? Less than 0 means that if this value is not 10 or 100 or 20 or 30 or 40, but if it is minus 10 or minus 15 say, can we find the square root of a negative number? As of now, no, we cannot find the square root of negative numbers. But later on you will learn in complex numbers that you can find out, because complex numbers are not in this current syllabus for you. You need not worry about how to find the square root of a negative number. All that you have to write at this level is to mention that the roots are imaginary. The roots are imaginary. So let us have a fast recap of what we have learnt. Firstly, discriminant d is b square minus 4ac. What is discriminant d? Discriminant d is b square minus 4ac. If this discriminant is equal to 0, the roots are real and equal. If discriminant is equal to 0, only one root we have, and that one root is minus b by 2a. I mean, it doesn't mean one root, you will have one value, both the roots will be the same. So, minus b by 2a comma minus b by 2a, because a quadratic equation is degree 2, a degree 2 equation will have two roots. Please remember that. Second thing, if b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, greater than 0. So, any greater than 0 number, you can find the square root. We know how to find the square roots using the Clark's table book, that is your logarithmic tables book, and then that is why you say the roots are real and unequal. Why one unequal? Because one is with the plus sign, because you have a plus or minus, one with plus, the other with minus, you get two different values of x, which makes us to say that the roots are real and unequal. Now, if this b square minus ac is a perfect square, that is, if you know the value like root 16, root 9, root 25, root 121, root 441, all these are perfect squares. So you can find the value. When you can find the value, the roots become rational roots. The roots become rational roots. Okay, and they are still unequal. But if it is an imperfect square like 15, 13, 11, 17, 27, these are all imperfect squares. You cannot find the square root directly. You have to use a logarithmic table book to find the square root, and therefore the roots become irrational. And the last one is if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, the roots are imaginary roots. Imaginary roots. Why? Because we cannot find the square root of a negative number. For this level, for standard 10, complex numbers are not there. So you can just mention that imaginary roots because negative square root value we cannot find. So that's the theory part. These are the rules of nature of roots. So let's do some numericals in this nature of roots. Let's see. So the first question is, find the nature of roots without solving. What do they mean when they say without solving? Children, without solving means you need not find the value of x. You just have to tell what kind of roots they are. What kind of roots means whether they are rational roots, whether they are equal roots, whether they are irrational, or whether they are imaginary roots is all that you have to find. And how will we find? By just finding the value of the discriminant, which is b square minus 4ac. Here we have a is 1, b is minus 9, c is minus 12. So what is d? d is equal to b square, which is minus 9 square. Okay, I'll write that also. Minus 4 into 1 into minus 12, which is 81 plus 48, which is 129. Now d is greater than 0, that's for sure we know. And then you have to write 129 is not a perfect square. It's not a perfect, spelling wrong. Okay, excuse me. I'll erase this off. Okay. So it's not a perfect square. Therefore, roots are irrational. Okay, irrational and unequal. Irrational and unequal. If it was 125, then also irrational and unequal. If it was 64, you will write the answer as rational and unequal. Depending upon whether it is a perfect square or not, the rationality or irrationality is what to be mentioned. For greater than 0, you will always get unequal roots. Let's see the solution. So this is the solution, 129. Therefore, the roots are irrational and unequal. Moving on to the next sum. Without solving the equation, find the value of p for which the given equation has equal roots. Now mind you children, here the condition is already given. What is the condition given? Equal roots. So what is the condition for equal roots? Equal roots means discriminant is equal to 0, which means to say b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. Whenever a condition is given, you have to apply the condition. Now, what is in place of b? It's really weird to write b is p plus 3. So, just we'll tell it orally. What is in place of b? We have it as p plus 3. So, b square is p plus 3 whole square, excuse me, minus 4ac. Minus 4a is p plus 6 into c into 1 is equal to 0. So, what is this now? If you expand it, it is p square plus 6p plus 9 minus 4p minus 24 is equal to 0. If you simplify it, it is p square plus 2p minus 15 is equal to 0. Again, here you have a quadratic equation. So, simple quadratic equation, product is minus 15. So, if you factorize it, it will be, let me go up a little more. Yeah. If you factorize it, it will be p square plus 5p minus 3p minus 15 is equal to 0. So it is p into p plus 5 minus 3 into p plus 5, which is equal to 0, and that makes it p plus 5 into p minus 3 is 0, p plus 5 into p minus 3 is 0, which makes p is minus 5 or 3, minus 5 or 3, that is the value of p. Okay. Here of course again we had to solve a quadratic equation, but without solving, without making it into a big equation, we could simply find the value of p applying the condition that the given equation has equal roots. Is that clear? So let us see the solution now. So yeah, 1 minute, it's gone up, I will show you. Okay. So now since the roots are equal, d is equal to 0, and then applying exactly what we have done just a minute ago, therefore you get two values of p which are minus 5 and or 3, not and children, please be watchful, or, okay, this could be that or that. Okay. Now if the roots of the equation b minus c into x square, let me see if I can just go one step up. Okay. Yeah. If the roots of the equation b minus c into x square plus c minus a into x plus a minus b is equal to 0. Here also the condition is given that the roots are equal. Equal means discriminant is 0. Discriminant is 0 means b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. What is b square here children? B square is here c minus a whole square minus 4ac. 4a is b minus c and c is a minus b, and it is equal to 0. So let us expand this. So this is c square plus a square minus 2ac, okay, and this is minus 4 into ab minus b square minus ac plus bc, which is equal to 0. So let us write it in one go. Minus into minus becomes plus children. So I am writing it as a square plus 4b square plus c square minus 2ac plus 4ac becomes plus 2ac, and then you do not have anything else to cancel. So minus 4ab and minus 4bc, which is equal to 0. Children, if you observe carefully, this is of the form a plus b plus c whole square. There are so many points, minus, wherever you have a minus sign, you know how to apply that, but otherwise it is a plus b plus c whole square, and here b is 2b. Now how do you decide which term will be negative? Now see here, I will just show you with this. See, observe carefully which two terms have negative sign. Here these two terms have the negative sign, and in these two terms which have the negative sign, which is the common alphabet? B is the common alphabet. So obviously B will be negative, and here B is 4b square. 4b square is 2b whole square. So now your expansion is a minus 2b plus c whole square is equal to 0, which makes a minus 2b plus c is equal to 0. Okay, and transpose 2b to the other side. So you have 2b is equal to a plus c. That is the result that is asked. Prove that 2b is equal to a plus c. So sometimes you may ask to be finding the value of an unknown, sometimes you will ask to be find a result, whatever it is, apply the condition, then you are through the answer. Okay children, so this is how about to solve a sum when it is given in terms of nature of roots. That is, when the nature of roots is given, whether the roots are real roots you have to take it as greater than or equal to 0. If it is given as equal roots, you have to take it as equal to 0. Mostly they give you equal roots when they ask you to find the value of an unknown or ask to prove any relation. Let's see the solution. Okay, I'll take it up for you all. So this is the solution. So same thing just now we have done. Carefully, be careful with the signs. Now you must be knowing how important each lesson is. Now we have applied expansions which you learnt in standard 8. Now if you leave expansions in standard 8 and go and you know about nature of roots, you will be stuck up at this point. You will not know what to do here. So please understand, every lesson is important. Again and again I am telling you, do not do selective study, because you don't know whether a particular topic will come in section A or section B. So being thorough with every lesson is important. So that's for today's class. The next video will be on problems on quadratic equation, which is a sure shot question in your board exam. So the next video will be on problems on quadratic equation. Till then, stay blessed, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share.